What do you think was the most dangerous period in world history? No, not what you're thinking. Something entirely different. The Cuban Missile Crisis. The Cuban Missile Crisis, October 16, 1962, is one of the most critical events of the Cold War, bringing the world to the brink of nuclear war between the United States and the Soviet Union. The crisis erupted when the Soviet Union placed nuclear missiles in Cuba right in the backyard of the United States. However, there are some interesting and lesser-known details that capture people's attention. The crisis was actually a Soviet attempt at revenge and deterrence. In 1961, the US had deployed known as Jupiter missiles in Turkey. These missiles had the capability to strike major Soviet cities, such as Moscow, within minutes. Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev decided to balance this situation by placing missiles in Cuba, which was considered the backyard of the United States. Another striking aspect of the crisis was the significant lack of information on the part of the US government at the beginning. The US discovered that the Soviets had placed missiles in Cuba through high-resolution photos taken by a U-2 spy plane. However, when these photos were first analyzed, there was a major error in estimating the missile range. The initial assessments suggested that the missiles could only strike a few major cities. Later analyses revealed that these missiles had a range capable of striking almost the entire US. This miscalculation may have led the US government to initially respond in a more measured manner. An interesting detail is the use of backchannel diplomacy by both the US and the Soviet Union, while officials of the two countries played a crucial role in resolving the crisis. Especially the secret negotiations between US President John F. Kennedy's brother, Robert Kennedy, and Soviet Ambassador Anatoly Dobrynin led to an agreement between the parties. In these talks, the US agreed to withdraw the Jupiter missiles from Turkey, but it was decided that this withdrawal would be kept secret. This information was revealed to the public years later, exposing the significant concessions made by the US in resolving the crisis. After the crisis was resolved, it was decided to establish a communication line between Kennedy and Khrushchev. This red phone line was created to prevent a misunderstanding from leading to a global catastrophe. However, interestingly, this line was not actually a phone line, but a teletype line. This line allowed written messages to be sent instead of direct speech. The reason for this was to minimize potential misunderstandings and translation errors. Finally, the psychological effects of the Cuban Missile Crisis were quite profound. After the crisis, the United States and the Soviet Union began to take steps to slow down the nuclear arms race. However, immediately following the crisis, the fear of nuclear war reached its peak among the American public. People began building nuclear shelters in their homes, and nuclear attack drills were conducted in schools. This was a reflection of the great trauma caused by one of the darkest periods of the Cold War. The Cuban Missile Crisis was not only a turning point in world history, but also vividly demonstrated the extreme danger of the Cold War. These lesser-known aspects of the crisis further highlight the seriousness of the event and the fragile balance between the parties. You want to see more videos like this? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next video. Take care.